So, I'd like you all to imagine a world where every time you connect with your customers, it's via a mobile phone. And not only that, but imagine that each one of those connections on that mobile phone was through video. So my name is Dion McGee. I'm head of fashion for the UK and Ireland on Facebook and Instagram. And I'm going to talk to you today about connecting with tomorrow's customers in this video world through mobile. So many brands come to us and they talk to us about preparing for a world of mobile. And they talk to us about the world of mobile that's going to happen. But the reality is that simply isn't true. The world of mobile is here and it's now. And it's already happened. On Facebook in the UK, every single day, 31 million people log onto our platform. And out of those 31 million people, 29 million of them log on a mobile phone. That's over 93% of people logging onto our platform every day in the UK on a mobile phone. So the world of mobile isn't happening. It's happened, it's here, and it's now. And what I want to talk to you about is the world of video. So Mark Zuckerberg stated in our earnings call last year that the majority of content in the next 5 years across all of our platforms will be video. And Mary Meeker stated that video is absolutely exploding. And that's something that we've been able to see right across our platform. So in April 2014, we announced on Facebook that we had 1 billion video views every single day. And if you fast forward less than 2 years later, and last year we announced that we had 8 billion video views on Facebook every single day. That's bigger than the entire world's population. And we've been actually able to see this through our consumers' journey and their change in behavior. So if we take a look back, maybe 8, 9 years ago, on Facebook, the majority of consumers posted and spoke to each other, people talked to each other all through texts. And brands connected with their consumers via text. If you fast forward maybe 3, 4 years later, people started to post photos and brands started to use imagery to connect with customers. But currently where we're seeing the real growth is video. So I just gave you some of our video stats there, 8 billion video views every single day. Now into the future, we absolutely expect that virtual reality and augmented reality will be part of that growth, and it's some of the stuff that we're already experimenting in. But at the moment, video is where we have the real growth. And what I want to help you understand today is actually how you build video in a mobile world. So it may look the same, but the reality is that video on mobile is very different to video on TV. And what I want to do is I want to talk you through some of the key learnings that as we've seen this video growth that we've taken and we've spoken to our brands about when they're thinking about building video in this mobile world. And there's 3 key things that we talk to all our brands about when they're looking at building video for mobile. The first one is capturing attention, getting people into your video quickly. The second is designing for sound off. And the third and the last is playing more with it, having a bit of fun. And I'm going to talk you through each of these 3 things. And you'll see today that throughout my presentation, there will be a lot of examples, obviously all through fashion, because that's where I work, that's the arena I work in. But all of these examples and all the tidbits and nuggets that I give today, you can apply to the majority of brands. So the first one is capturing attention. Whenever somebody opens Facebook, they have an option of 2,500 different pieces of content that can come onto your newsfeed at any one time. So that means that as a brand, that you're not only competing with other brands, you're also competing with people's friends. You're competing with wedding announcements, engagement announcements. You're even competing with people's children. So I know if my husband puts a photo of my baby up on Facebook or Instagram, it's going to take a lot for a brand to pull me away from that photo and to capture my attention. So as a brand, that's what you really need to think about. Now, our stats have also shown that on desktop, you have 2.2 seconds to capture in someone's attention. And on mobile, it's even shorter. In a newsfeed environment on mobile, you have 1.2 seconds to capture in someone's attention. That's literally the time from here to there to get somebody in to watch your video or look at your piece of content. Hyperlapse is a great app, and what it does, it's a free app that you download onto your mobile phone. And what it does is it takes a long-form video that can be a few minutes long, and it speeds it up. And it condenses it down to a few seconds. And I have 3 examples here of brands that have used Hyperlapse really well, thinking about it to actually capture in somebody's attention. So J.Crew using Hyperlapse, literally getting somebody to flick through their product catalogue. They're showing you the length and breadth of their product offerings, while at the same time they're capturing your attention and they're drawing your eye into it. Nike, they had a big outdoor event, and they also had this outdoor lit up format. And they've done Hyperlapse and took you from day to night in a few seconds with the visual of the city in the background. But all the time your eye is drawn into their visual and their outdoor. And Herschel's, they're a US bag company. They simply used Hyperlapse to unpack their bag. They're showing you the full capability of their product in a very easy and simple manner, and all done on a mobile phone. Boomerang is another app, and what Boomerang does is it takes a small clip of a video, maybe 2 or 3 seconds long, and it just repeats it over. Again, it's an app that you download onto your mobile phone. And you can see here that what Boomerang is great for doing is, in that small clip of video, it can draw your eye into certain parts of the video. So whether it's the hat, the bag, the shoes, or if you're promoting a makeup brand. Just by making sure that the part of the video that you want moving is where you want your consumer's eye to look at. Now, within this capturing attention, our internal creative team have developed this idea called a heartbeat frequency. So we know that once you have somebody's attention, that the reality is that you have to keep that attention. And we've seen that if you can get people to watch up to 3 seconds of your video, 65% of them will continue on to view it for 10 seconds. So with that in mind, we've developed this idea called a heartbeat frequency. And what that is actually visually rewarding people as they continue to watch your video. So every 2 to 3 seconds, you bring in a new visual element to reward them for continuing to watch. So Kate Spade is a great example here of how they do that. As you see, every kind of 2 to 3 seconds, they're introducing a new look. They've got bags, they've got their accessories with scarves. It's just bringing you through, and it's keeping your attention because you want to see what the next look is. And the great thing about Kate Spade is Kate Spade does this continually. So every time they're launching their new collection, whether it's autumn, winter, spring, summer, they think about not only capturing people's attention, but once they have that attention, how they keep it. And that heartbeat frequency is the way to do it. Get people's attention, but then keep it. Another concept that our creative team talk about is starting with the end. So letting people know or give them an idea of that what they're about to watch, what's inside that video. And getting your brand up front and center is absolutely key. So Kettle Chips is one of my favorite ones of doing this. And what they do is they start with the pack. Normally the pack shot comes at the end, but actually they start with the pack. And then the pack explodes. And after it explodes, you have elements of taste. You can see the jalapenos, you've got elements of the product, and everything comes afterwards. But they've made sure that their product and their brand is up front and center. So starting with the end also kind of captures people's attention. If I'm interested in something, whether it's Kettle Chips or whether it's fashion, and somebody starts with that, then I'm going to continue to watch that video because I know what I'm already about to start to watch. So that's capturing people's attention. Designing for sound off is really thinking about building your videos so that if people don't have sound, that they can understand it. Now, we've seen on our platform that if people watch up to 10 seconds of a video, they're much more likely to turn the sound on. Now, we know as well that different environments will mean and decide whether people turn on sound or not. So if you're on public transport and you don't have earphones, if you're on a bus or if you're on a train, the likelihood of you having sound on is very slim. You're not going to be sharing maybe with everybody around you like your music taste or what you're watching. But if you're at home and you're in your own environment, you're much more likely to turn that sound on. So when we talk to brands, we say to them, design for sound on, off, but allow sound on, just enhance your video. So Banana Republic here, a great example of designing for sound off. They've got 3 looks that they're bringing you right through the video, but you can understand exactly what the video means without any sound. And the other great thing about Banana Republic is they really thought about that heartbeat frequency. So every 2 to 3 seconds, they're introducing a new look. So when you've started to watch the video, you're being visually rewarded as you continue to watch it. And one of my favorite ones is Marks and Spencer's. I love how they start this whole video with the sheep exploding. It's great, it captures your attention immediately. And then every 2 to 3 seconds, they start to add in elements about who they are. Whether it's a whole range of different colors, whether it's the fact that they do men's wear and women's wear. They even bring in elements of sustainability, and all of that comes in, and you understand it all without any sound. And I don't know if anybody has seen this video. With sound, it's absolutely great. It's got some really good and strong soundtracks, but without it, you still understand the whole video. And it's a great example, actually, of how a video can be up to 45 seconds long, but if they've captured your attention and they've got the sound, you've got sound on or off, you still understand it. The people can continue to watch it. So that's designing for sound off. Then the last and the final one, the third thing that I'm going to talk about today, is playing more. So we know in Facebook and Instagram that not everybody has huge production budgets. Some people may have smaller production budgets. Some people may be creating things on their own mobile phone. And actually, we don't want people to come to us and say that can hamper what they can do for video on a mobile phone. The reality is there's so many options out there to be able to test and trial what you have, that we talk to our brands about being able to do this. So within Facebook, there's an ability to be able to take a still image. You can take that still image and you can input it into our system. And with a number of still images, you can actually create a thing called slideshow. And that simply allows you to take images and it creates a look of a video. But it's almost, you're thinking about that heartbeat frequency, you're showing people the full range of clothing, but you've done it all with still images. So Miss Selfridges came to us and they had let us know that they had a number of really great images, but at the time they didn't have video for this collection. And they asked us, like, what could they do it at the time? So we recommended that they actually put together this slideshow. And by putting together the slideshow, they were able to create video, capture people's attention, and show the length and the breadth of their product offerings, all through thinking about what they already had. So not letting that hamper them being able to create a good, strong video. J. Crew is a great example as well. So J. Crew had worked with our team in the US, J. Crew, a big US company obviously, and they had created a very long video. But in the original video, actually everybody was jumping into the pool. And J. Crew wanted to kind of bring an element and make it a little bit different. And also kind of capture attention and surprise people to make people continue to engage and watch the video. So what they simply done was they just rewound the video. And by rewinding the video, they were just bringing people out of the pools. And people were kept watching and kept captivating to see what was going to come out next. It was a great way of actually taking a piece of content that they already had and that was already created and making it more agile and ready for mobile. Target Style, another US retailer, is a great example of a brand thinking about where their content is going to live and breathe before they create it. So Target they were lucky enough to be able to think about the fact that on Facebook and Instagram we have this carousel format which allows you to put a number of different images side by side. So before they created it, they thought about this and they thought this is what they wanted to do, but they also wanted to create video that was going to capture people's attention and surprise them. So they basically created this video that made it look like somebody was walking through each of the carousels. Really clever, it's going to capture people's attention, your consumers are going to be interested in it. And what they were also able to do was not only was, as the person walked through each carousel changing their clothing, so they were able to show a wide range of clothing, they were also able to showcase their home and their furniture offerings. So from a brand point of view, it allowed them much more flexibility to be able to share with people that wide range of offerings. Now, the last thing that I'm going to talk about is some work internally that we had done with Cadbury's. So Cadbury's in the Middle East had come to us and they had built this beautiful piece of creative for TV. And I'm going to show you the creative now. And what I want you to do is I want you to imagine if this creative had no sound and you were looking at it on a mobile phone without sound, would you be able to tie the beginning and the end of the video together? Would you even know the video was from Cadbury's? So hopefully sound works, and if it doesn't, you'll be easily able to imagine it without sound. So as you can see, like a really great video, uplifting, like great music soundtrack to it, and you tie the idea of chocolate and that whole joyous feeling. But if that had no sound and you were watching that, when you'd got about 2 or 3 seconds into the video, you really wouldn't understand what it was about. So our internal creative team actually worked with Cadbury's, and what they done was they simply added context. So they added text overlay onto the video, shortened it slightly, and just by adding that context and that text overlay, suddenly consumers were actually able to understand what that video was about. And we were lucky enough at the time to be able to run 2 pieces of research alongside this. And what we saw was we ran the original copy, and we also ran the amended copy with that text overlay, just the additional context. And what we saw was we saw a 2x uplift in brand awareness. So people were associating the context. Once you added the text overlay, they were continuing to watch it more, and they were associating that with Cadbury's. Whereas actually from an ad recall and a brand awareness, the piece of video that didn't have the context and the overlay wasn't being associated with Cadbury's. So they're the 3 things that I wanted to talk about today when building video in a mobile feed. So the first one, capturing people's attention. And not only capturing people's attention, but keeping it. Thinking about that heartbeat frequency. So when you have someone's attention, you want to actually get them to continue to watch your video. The second one is designing for sound off. That doesn't mean that you can't have sound on your video, but what it does mean is that your video needs to make sense without having any sound on it. And let sound on enhance your video. And then the third and the final one is playing more. So having a bit of fun with it, not letting budgets, your creative budgets, determine whether you can or can't build video for mobile. I named 2 apps there, Hyperlapse and Boomerang, but there's a plethora of so many other apps out there that are free that you can download onto your mobile phone, and actually you can just test. So I'd say to anybody, if you can, go and try and test apps and just see what you can build. Because there's a lot of options out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dion. That's a brilliant masterclass in Facebook. And I think if people want to come and speak to you, you're around for a few minutes afterwards. Thanks very much again. Thank you.